Attention passionate Cleveland, BROWNS FANS. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Cleveland Browns' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Cleveland Browns fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Cleveland, BROWNS FANS. Let's get to the news. Hey Browns fans, let's sit down for a moment and really talk about what's going on with the quarterback situation here in Cleveland. Because honestly, it's been a bit of a roller coaster lately, and the rumors are flying fast and furious. We all know that the Browns have been in this quarterback puzzle for quite some time now, especially after the roller coaster that 2022 brought with Deshaun Watson's suspension and the drama surrounding his recovery. But this summer, as we gear up for training camp, it feels like the stakes are higher than ever. And I mean, we've got 4 guys competing for that starting spot in Week 1, not counting Deshaun Watson, who's still working his way back from his injury and suspension. That's a pretty crowded room, isn't it? And honestly, it's still too early to tell who's going to emerge as the guy. The Browns' management and coaching staff, they're not rushing to make any final decisions just yet. They're playing it close to the vest, keeping their cards close because they know how important this is. But here's where it gets really interesting. Out of nowhere, a former NFL Pro Bowler, someone who's made a name for himself in the NFL circles, T.J. Houshmandzadeh, a guy who's known for his time with the Bengals and his outspoken personality, comes out with a bold claim. According to him, sources close to the team have already made a decision. Now, I have to be honest with you, Browns fans, because Houshmandzadeh isn't exactly known for breaking exclusive news or having a proven track record when it comes to insider info. So I take it with a grain of salt. Still, his statement is worth discussing because it's stirring the pot. On a recent episode of Nightcap, he said that Cleveland has already made up its mind and that they're choosing between 2 quarterbacks, rookie Dillon Gabriel and 4th-year player Kenny Pickett, who was acquired via trade. That's a pretty big claim, isn't it? He said, and I quote, "I was told by somebody in the building, who is not a player, that it is really coming down to Kenny Pickett or Dillon Gabriel." Now, Browns fans, I can tell you, that kind of information raises a lot of questions. Why would the team already be narrowing it down to just those 2? Why wouldn't they consider SHEDEUR Sanders, the rookie who was drafted in the 5th round just this past April? Of course, we're all wondering, what about Joe Flacco? Why is he being sidelined or dismissed so quickly? Now I want you to think about this. SHEDEUR Sanders, a guy who in the draft was seen as a bit of a project, a raw talent, and yes, he dropped to the 5th round, which raised eyebrows for many fans and analysts. But just because he's a 5th-round pick doesn't mean he's out of the race entirely. Every rookie has a chance, especially if he shows promise in training camp and preseason. The Browns, after all, have a history of developing quarterbacks and giving young guys opportunities. But right now, the whispers suggest that maybe the team is leaning toward the more experienced options, or at least those with a bit more NFL seasoning, like Gabriel and Pickett. And that's where we hit a bit of a crossroads, folks. Why would they be making these private decisions in June? Why would they be telling insiders or even reporters like Houshmandzadeh about their internal debates? It's a bit unusual, isn't it? Usually, teams keep that stuff under wraps until they're ready to announce their starter. But here we are, hearing that Cleveland might be close to making a call. Of course, it's all still speculation. Nothing is set in stone, and training camp is just around the corner. This is the time when coaches evaluate talent, see who's ready to step up, and who might need more development. Now, let's dig a little deeper into these names. Kenny Pickett, a guy who made a splash in his rookie year with the Steelers, has experience and a certain poise under pressure. He's shown flashes of promise, and if the Browns are considering him for a trade, it suggests they see him as someone with potential to lead a team, at least for now. Dillon Gabriel, on the other hand, is a young, talented player who impressed many in college at Oklahoma. He's got mobility, a good arm, and a lot of upside. The question is, can he handle the NFL's intensity and pressure right from the jump? That's what training camp will reveal. But here's the thing, why would the Browns be so secretive about their plans? Why not be transparent and let the players compete openly? Well, it's simple. In the NFL, every team wants to keep their cards close, especially when it comes to the quarterback position, because it's the most influential on the field. A team's QB can make or break your season. So, if Cleveland is indeed considering these two, they want to see who'll perform best in camp, who can handle the pressure, and who aligns best with the team's offensive philosophy. And let's not forget, the Browns have a solid roster overall. The defense is stacked, with stars like Myles Garrett and a revamped secondary. The running game has been strong, led by Nick Chubb, one of the best backs in the league. The offensive line has been solid, giving quarterbacks time to operate. But everything hinges on that quarterback, and that's why fans are so eager to see who gets the nod. We know the pressure is immense, especially after last season's ups and downs, and the expectations are sky-high for 2024. Cleveland wants stability at QB, someone who can lead them deep into the playoffs and maybe even contend for a Super Bowl. Now, talking about the quarterback competition, it's worth noting that Baker Mayfield's departure was a major turning point. The team moved on, and Watson was brought in to be the franchise guy. But Watson's struggles last season, combined with the injuries and suspension, left a lot of fans wondering if he's truly the answer. That's why the organization is exploring their options, looking for a backup plan, and trying to find someone who can step in and be reliable if DESHAUN faces setbacks again. As of now, FLACCO, the veteran, is still in the mix, but the buzz suggests he's more of a bridge than a long-term solution. And then, there's the emerging hope that perhaps a rookie like SHEDEUR could surprise everyone. After all, we've seen undrafted or late-round quarterbacks come in and make an impact. Think of guys like Dak Prescott or even Tom Brady in his early days. It's not impossible. But right now, the Browns seem to be leaning toward more experienced options, or at least those with NFL experience, because they want to win now. The clock is ticking, and the season's start is getting closer, so every decision counts. What about the fans' perspective? We're all eager for clarity, right? We want to know who's going to be under center come September, who's going to lead this team to victory, and who can handle the pressure of playing in Cleveland, especially with the spotlight shining so brightly after last year's playoff push. The Browns have a talented roster, and they've spent a lot of resources building this team. The quarterback is the final piece of the puzzle, and honestly, the debate is fierce among fans. Some are rooting for the young guns, hoping Gabriel or even SHEDEUR can develop into something special. Others are more traditional, trusting in the experience of Pickett or FLACCO. Whatever side you're on, one thing's clear: this QB saga is far from over, and it will be one of the main storylines to watch as training camp unfolds. Now, let's talk a little about the bigger picture. Cleveland, historically, has been a franchise that's seen its share of struggles and flashes of brilliance. From the legendary Jim Brown to the heartbreak of the 1980s and the more recent playoff appearances, Browns fans are used to riding emotional roller coasters. But what makes this moment so intriguing is the potential for a new chapter. The team has invested heavily in the roster, especially on defense and the offensive line, and if they can find stability at quarterback, they could be a real contender in the AFC North. The division is tough. Baltimore keeps reloading, Cincinnati has Joe Burrow leading an explosive offense, and Pittsburgh always finds ways to stay competitive. But if Cleveland finds the right guy under center, they could upset the balance and make a real run in 2024. And speaking of the division, let's not forget the stakes here. The AFC North is arguably one of the most competitive divisions in football right now. Baltimore's Lamar Jackson, Cincinnati's Joe Burrow, and Pittsburgh's Kenny Pickett. Each team has a star quarterback, and the rivalry is intense. Cleveland needs to step up, and that's why their quarterback decision isn't just about one season. It's about setting a foundation for years to come. A solid, confident QB at the helm could be the difference between a playoff run and an early exit. Browns fans, you know how close they were last year, especially in that heartbreaking playoff loss. That's why every decision, every camp battle, feels so crucial. And let's not forget the coaching staff's perspective. Head coach Kevin Stefanski has been in Cleveland since 2020, and he's had his share of ups and downs. He's known for his offensive ingenuity and his ability to develop quarterbacks, but this year, he's under even more pressure to get it right. The team has invested in talent, and now it's about putting that talent in the best possible position. The QB competition is a key part of that, and Stefanski will want to see who rises to the occasion during camp. Plus, there's the whole narrative about the Cleveland Browns finally turning the page after so many years of inconsistency and disappointment. We've seen flashes of promise, like the AFC North title in 2020 or their playoff appearance in 2020 and the potential they showed at times last season. But fans are hungry for stability, for a quarterback who can be counted on week after week. And that's why all eyes are on camp, on the preseason games, and on the decision-makers in Berea. They're trying to find that guy who can galvanize the team and take them to the promised land. Now, in terms of what the fans should be watching, it's not just about who throws the most completions or scores the most touchdowns. It's about leadership, decision-making, poise under pressure, and that intangible quality known as clutch gene. Who will be the guy to rally the team when things aren't going well? Who will show the mental toughness needed to succeed in the AFC North's brutal schedule? Those are the questions that will be answered in training camp and preseason. And let's be honest, Browns fans, the quarterback debate isn't new. We've been here before, waiting for that franchise guy to emerge to finally bring some stability and consistency to this franchise. Every offseason, we hope that the new signing, the draft pick, or the young player will be the answer. But sometimes it takes time, patience, and a little bit of luck. This year, the Browns might be on the cusp of finding that guy, or maybe they'll surprise us all with a different choice. Either way, it's going to be fascinating to watch unfold. Now, circling back to the rumors about Cleveland's internal decision-making, I want to emphasize that nothing is official yet. The Browns have a lot of options, and right now, they're probably still evaluating. The upcoming training camp will be pivotal. We'll see who shines in the practices, who can handle the pressure, and who can truly lead this team to victory. It's all about the competition, the battles in the trenches, and who can turn their potential into production when it matters most. And let's not forget, the stakes are high. The AFC North is a gauntlet, and every game counts. Cleveland's success in 2024 could depend heavily on who's under center. If the Browns can get it right, they could be serious contenders for the playoffs and maybe even a deep run in the postseason. But if they miss the mark, the season could look very different. That's why fans are so invested in this story. We're not just talking about a quarterback battle, we're talking about the future of the franchise. Before I wrap up, I want to remind everyone to stay tuned, because I'll be keeping you updated with all the latest news, rumors, and analysis as this story develops. The Browns' quarterback situation is one of the most intriguing storylines heading into 2024, and I'll be here to break it all down for you, step by step. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and be part of this Browns family. We've got a lot to discuss, and I want you all to be in the loop. And now, Cleveland Browns fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this quarterback saga? Do you believe the team has already made up its mind? Are you confident in Dillon Gabriel or Kenny Pickett? Or do you think SHEDEUR Sanders has a shot to surprise everyone? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion really matters, and it helps keep this community engaged and informed. Remember, this is your team and your voice counts. I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Cleveland Browns news. We're in this journey together, and I can't wait to see how it all unfolds in the coming weeks. Browns fans, let's keep the faith, stay fired up, and get ready for an exciting season ahead. Go Browns!